I eat like this because it made getting abs so easy, okay? So if you're looking for that one change that you can make, I will tell you exactly why I do it, how I do it, why you need to do it, and what made it so much easier for me to stick to, okay? Because this was the game changer for me, and there are ways to make it easier, okay? So let me tell you why I skip breakfast. I know you've heard it all before, but let me give you a bit more of a breakdown, because you really need to understand the why if you are going to get into it, okay? So skipping breakfast, like the biggest mistake that I find with most people is that they go into it straight out the gate, okay? They try to go with the 16-hour fast straight away, straight out the gate, but if you do not build up to it, okay, you need to start small and then build up. That's the first thing that you need to do to make it easier to get into intermittent fasting, okay? So if you are going straight out the gate, you're trying to go with the 16, 18-hour fast, 20 hours, you're going to be spiking your cortisol, your body's not going to be used to it, and you're going to fall off. That's probably why you're finding it so hard to stick to it routinely. I built it up over time to a point where now it's just my normal routine now, okay? It feels normal for me to not eat. I do not feel hunger in the morning because my body has just adapted, okay? So you need to build in an adjustment phase when you are getting started, okay? Because the reason why you need to skip breakfast in the morning is because you do not want to spike your insulin first thing in the morning, okay? You want to stay in a fasted state. It keeps you mentally aware. It makes you more productive because you know you've got to go work for it, okay? You should be going to the gym, going out for a walk, doing something productive with your morning rather than just shoveling shit down your mouth first thing in the morning without earning it, okay? It pushes that eating window further down. Okay, so that's the biggest thing that helps, okay, is because lots of people struggle with snacking and structuring their meals. So the first thing that I do to make intermittent fasting easier is sticking to big meals throughout the day. So I will fast up until 11, 12. I wake up at 5 a.m, go to the gym straight away, go out for a bit of a walk when I come back, do some work, and I will not eat until 11, 12. And I will rely on taking in a lot of water throughout this time. I will have coffee, black coffee, and if you really want to, you can have milk in your coffee, okay? Do not fall into the trap that just because you've consumed, 30 calories of milk, the fast is over and you might as well start eating. Like, we're not running like a scientific experiment over here, okay? You're not doing intermittent fasting for the purpose of really regenerating cells in that way, and like a little bit of calories going in is okay, It's about the main meals that you want to push through, okay? So if you're thinking that's the reason why you can't get started, because I know I love my morning coffee, and for a while I was having milk in my coffee, and that was the little mental barrier I had to get over. So if you're having a little bit of milk with your coffee, consider yourself still fasted, okay? So keep going through that process. And then when I structure my meals, my first meal, my second meal, my third meal, I have big meals on all three of those, okay? I do not focus on little snacking and little meals throughout the day to keep me going, because it's easy to go through hunger earlier on through the day, throughout the middle of the day, because you've got shit to do, right? You've got work, you've got whatever else to get going. It's towards the end of the night when it's quiet, okay? When the day's done, that's when the weakness sets in. That's when you want to be having a good, full, structured meal. Okay, that's what makes it easier. That's how you go to bed full. And you need to be programming your food correctly in a way where you are picking high volume foods, low GI, so you're not spiking your insulin, lots of fiber, lots of water, so it fills you up. All of this can be attuned in a way where you do not feel hungry, okay? There is a way to solve for the problem of hunger throughout a cutting process, okay? I did not feel hunger throughout my journey. Okay, so you need to have big meals, not little snacking ones constantly throughout the day. Have big meals, okay? And with those meals, make sure protein is the anchor of every single meal, okay? Not a little piece of chicken, not a couple of shreds of beef mince or whatever. Like, that should be 50, 60, 70% of your meal should be protein, okay? It's going to increase the thermogenic effect, okay? Which means that it's harder for your body to break down. So it's gonna be a slow releasing satiety in your body, okay? It's gonna make sure that you are fueling your body correctly, because I'm sure you would have hit the gym earlier in the day, right? So you wanna be giving your body the right fuel and making sure that protein is the anchor of all of those big meals. Okay, set out the protein first and then work out the carbs and the fats after. If that's something you need help with, figuring out the structure of your meals, feel free to book a call with me in the description below, because doing the big meals is what makes it easier to stick through the day, okay? Now, the main things that this is really good for is obviously reducing the stacking at the end of the night, but obviously reducing your calories. If you are within a smaller window and you are picking high volume foods, big meals, okay, it's going to make it so much harder for you to consume all those calories just out of a convenience standpoint. Next level after that is when you actually start tracking your calories and you actually know the inputs that are going into your body. But if you are taking a bit more of an intuitive approach, you're just starting out, you're just trying to ease into it, this reduces the risk, okay, of overeating and reduces that window for you to just blindly be consuming calories because you're bored and all that kind of thing. It makes it really hard to overeat when you're doing intermittent fasting, coupled with the right programming of the food, the right choices. That's the other thing that I did not get right in my beginning, was understanding that the intermittent fasting, the window is the first step, but having the right programming, the right food structure is that next level that makes it easier, okay? And when you make big meals, when you make it structured, when you can repeat those meals every single day, you should not be having high variety. You should not be having multiple different meals every single day. You should be having structured meals that you can repeat daily, okay? I eat the same, basically the exact same square 3 meals, which takes up 90% of my calories every single day, okay? Because I enjoy it. It's easy to make. There's a low time commitment to cook it up. It's easy to install into my lifestyle, and that way it reduces the risk of me eating something out, okay? Because I don't want to be cooking something that's going to take 45 minutes to cook, right? If I'm hungry, I'll want to get Uber Eats, I'll want to go out and get something down at the shop or whatever. So this reduces the likelihood. You need to have already programmed 3 square meals that you are going to enjoy. Have a 4th one in there for a bit of rotation to swap out every now and then, but do not fall into the trap that you need to have variety throughout your intermittent fasting, okay? Have structured meals that you can repeat daily within that window. That's going to make it a lot easier, okay? Now, repeatability is the key to success. Everyone thinks that these big bursts of energy, going for a run, reducing your calories by half, that is going to be the biggest factor that's going to result in you falling off, okay? Because you feel like you've put in all that effort, and then when you don't see the results that you want in the mirror, it is demotivating, it's disheartening, right? I used to go through the exact same thought process as well, because I'd be locked in for, a very short period of time, and then when I didn't see the instant results, I'd fall off, okay? You need to build a program, you need to build a lifestyle where you can do it every single day easily. Okay, the amazing thing is that throughout my cutting process, going from 25% body fat down to abs for the first time, it was easy, okay? Because I understood that I have all these tools at my disposal, okay? Intermittent fasting is the key one, because snacking for me, and most likely for you, is the reason why we overeat, okay? And it's mostly out of boredom, okay? It comes from, at the end of the night, you're putting on Netflix, you're chilling out after a big day's work, and you just want to be doing something. That's what I fell into all the time. It's not often hunger. If your food is programmed correctly, that is the reason why you are overeating, or you're not really understanding the foods that you're putting into your body. It's out of boredom, okay? Because we're used to it. We've got such easy access to food that it makes it so easy to just grab some chips, grab whatever, and then next thing you know, you've consumed 500, 1,000 calories extra. You might have been eating good for the entire day, and that's what I used to do. My breakfast was on point, my lunch was on point, I'd be fasting until 2 p.m. I'd go to the gym, and then by the time 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock rolls around, the day's done, then I'd fall off, because it's like, I've done such a good job throughout the day, now let's chill out a little bit. I can have a little bit of cookies here, a little bit of chips here. And then without even realizing it, I was in a surplus and I was putting on body fat, okay? And because I was putting in this effort throughout the day and I was seeing negative results, I got demotivated, and where do you think that left me? Okay, I kept spiraling, never having a plan in place, and that leaves you in a very difficult, confusing spot, because you don't really know how to keep moving forward from there. It feels like all the effort that you're putting in is in a way pointless. So this was the biggest thing that I changed, was building in an intermittent fasting window into my life that works for me. It increased my productivity, and this was the biggest driver. Like, you can spend all that time in the morning not having to worry about the food that you need to cook up, and when you are starting off the day like that, it puts you in the right mindset. It's like, for example, I started running a little while ago, and I went out and I bought an expensive pair of shoes, and because I've put in that extra effort, I've bought an expensive pair of shoes. It's like, I really should build in this routine. But if I went to Kmart or something, bought like some 20 pair of cheap shoes or whatever, I'd get the same result. I'd have a good pair of shoes that could go and run or whatever, but I might not have that guilt behind me that I've spent all this money to buy shoes, why am I not running? It's the same thing with this. If you start off your day waiting to eat and you've done some work in the morning, it increases that willpower. People think willpower decreases with time. No, it increases if you're doing the right things. If you start the day off doing the right things, being productive, what do you think your mindset's going to be when 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock rolls around, when you're thinking of going out for food, doing something that you shouldn't be? But you understand that you've been killing it all day, you put in all this effort, you were starving yourself early in the morning, going to the gym, and then you'd be like, oh, why would I want to sabotage that now? It's a positive snowball effect that comes from this, but you need to be able to build it into your life. Do not go running straight out the gate with a big fast, okay? You're going to really increase that risk of you falling off. So build in an adjustment phase where for a week you do a short fasting, and then the second week you increase that, and so on, to the point where it just feels normal, okay? So intermittent fasting was the key to my weight loss, okay? It's not because when you're in a fasted state you burn more fat overall in a net weight. It actually doesn't do anything for that. It reduces the risk of all the other things that is the reason why you are putting on weight, like the snacking, okay? Like the going out for meals that you shouldn't be, okay? And the insulin sensitivity. When you are in a fasted state, you're going to reduce that spike throughout the day. So when you are, and the main thing behind it, the real true thing, is the mindset, okay? Intermittent fasting is not some magical scientific hack or whatever. It just puts you in the right frame of mind to keep killing the rest of the day, okay? So if you need any questions answered on intermittent fasting, feel free to reach out to me. Hopefully this helps, because intermittent fasting is the game changer. I will be doing it all year round, no matter if I'm cutting down or if I'm lean bulking. It is a staple in my lifestyle, okay? So hopefully this helps, man. I'll see you in the next one.